We're jumping right into a moment of pure crisis for the Roman Empire. Word has just reached Emperor Nero that his legions have suffered a humiliating defeat in Judea. And for an emperor like Nero, known for his massive ego, this isn't just bad news. It's a threat that can unravel the entire eastern half of his empire.
Now, our guide through all this is the historian Josephus, who is actually there to witness these events. And his words, they just paint such a vivid picture. This quote tells us everything. You see, behind that powerful imperial mask, Emperor Nero was absolutely terrified. The stakes really couldn't have been higher.
So let's really try to get inside Nero's head for a minute. He's just been handed this massive military disaster. Publicly, he has to be the strong, unshakable emperor. But in private, well, as Josephus tells us, it's a whole different story.
And here you can really see that split. Publicly, Nero's putting on a show, right? He's blaming his generals, puffing out his chest, looking very big. But behind closed doors, he's in a state of, quote, concealed consternation and terror. This wasn't just some political problem for him. Josephus says there was a disturbance in his soul. Nero knew this was a fire that could easily spread.
So all this panic, it really forces Nero's hand. He can't just pick any general out of a hat. No way. He has to find the absolute best person for what seems like an impossible job. The stability of the entire Eastern Empire is hanging in the balance, and his choice of commander, well, it's everything. And this really gives you a sense of the scale of the problem he was facing. This wasn't just about punishing one little province. Nero was terrified this distemper, as Josephus calls it, could infect the entire region. He didn't just need a general, he needed a general who could handle a mighty war and lock down the entire East. So who on earth could possibly fit that bill?
Well, after a lot of careful thought, Nero landed on one man he believed was truly equal to the task, Vespasian. And this wasn't some young, ambitious guy from his court. Oh no, this was a seasoned, hardened, old-school veteran.
This is how Josephus puts it. Vespasian was an old man already in the camp. He wasn't a politician. He was a soldier, through and through. The man had spent pretty much his entire life on the frontiers of the Roman world, leading legions and winning battles.
I mean, just look at this resume. From the time he was a kid, his life was all about warfare. He fought on the tough German frontier. He was a key player in the conquest of Britain under the Emperor Claudius. This guy wasn't just a commander, he was the commander. It's like his whole life had been leading up to a moment just like this one.
So you might be wondering, why would a paranoid emperor like Nero trust anyone with this much power? Well, first, his age wasn't a weakness. It meant he had unmatched skill and experience. Second, and this is so important, his own sons were basically hostages for his fidelity. They were young, capable, and served as a built-in guarantee of their father's loyalty. And then you have that fascinating little note from Josephus, a hint that maybe destiny itself was clearing a path for Vespasian to one day become emperor.
Okay, so the decision is made. Vespasian is the man for the job. Now the enormous weight of the Roman military machine has to get moving. A huge army needed to be pulled together from all across the eastern provinces.
And the plan they came up with was pretty comprehensive. It was a two-pronged strategy. Vespasian himself took the land route, heading into Syria to gather all the Roman forces already there, plus troops from allied kings. At the exact same time, his son Titus was sent on a critical mission by sea, down to Egypt, which was both a breadbasket and a military hub for the entire East.
And listen, Titus wasn't sent to pick up just any soldiers. His mission was to retrieve two very specific legions, the 5th and the 10th. These were hardened, veteran units, basically the best of the best in the Roman army. Bringing them into the fight sent a crystal-clear message. This was no longer a police action. This was all-out war.
And I just have to end on this fantastic little detail from Josephus because it tells you everything about Nero's state of mind. He didn't just command Vespasian to take the job. He had to flatter him, using great encomiums and compliments that, as Josephus says, necessity required. The all-powerful emperor of Rome had to butter up his general because, frankly, he was out of options and completely terrified.
So that brings us to our final thought here. You have Nero, acting out of pure fear and desperation, picking the one man in the entire empire who had the skill, the experience, and the guaranteed loyalty to crush this rebellion. So with Rome's most seasoned general and his veteran legions now marching toward Judea, you just have to ask yourself, was the outcome of this war already decided before the first major battle was even fought?